that continued attempts to discredit the November elections, such as the absurd Arizona recount and recent reports that the former president believes that he will be reinstated. He still says this could potentially have similar effects.
Well, certainly I think there's a whole range of things out there that are contributing.
Well, do you think it enables that narrative that folks had a right to come here? They had a right to come here and attack our capital and our democracy.
I've tried to steer clear of weighing in on different people's speech just because of my role. I certainly understand why you're asking.
Director Ray, it's really scary to believe, because I truly believe this. Do you think if the people in that crowd looked brown or black, majority, do you think that we would be here in this hearing right now?
That's hard for me to say. I can tell you, we FBI.
Do you think the riot gear would have showed up? Do you think the National Guard would have been called? Because what I saw when Black Lives Matter protesters were here and those defending their right to choose, it seemed like all of a sudden, all of y'all had resources. Y'all had a plan then. Why is it when white supremacist terrorists show up here to want to lynch the vice president, to attack the speaker, to attack our democracy, threatening the lives of members of Congress, really the lives of just our whole livelihood in our country, that no one seemed to want to show up?
Well, Congressman, I can only really speak to the FBI's role, and my view is we have one standard, and we've tried to apply it consistently in both situations.
Thank you. I yield.
The gentlelady's time has expired. The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Higgins, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My. Bless you, sir. My. My colleagues across the aisle are going to find themselves in a bind this year because we're going to investigate. We're going to investigate what exactly did happen leading up to January the 6th. You'd have had to be living under a rock in America to not know that there was potential for violence, riot, and mob behavior on January the 6th. Anybody with an ounce of common sense and any kind of connection to the street knew that that was a potential. The United States Capitol Police received intelligence from numerous law enforcement and intelligence services which clearly indicated a likelihood of violence on January 6th, and they failed to adequately prepare. Let's look at why. Mayor Browser. My goodness. December 31st, she had one tone when she requested the cooperation of the D.C. National Guard. And let me clarify, the commanding general of the D.C. National Guard is subordinate solely to the president. The authority to activate the D.C. National Guard has been delegated by the president to the Secretary of Defense and further delegated to the Secretary of the Army. There's a chain of command. It begins with a request from the mayor. The mayor made that request on December 31st. The president authorized it on January the 3rd, but on January the 5th, Mayor Browse of D.C., who's deeply connected with my Democratic colleagues here in this body, she had a change of heart, sent out a letter. We don't want any National Guardsmen here. I got National Guardsmen just for traffic control, wearing safety vests, unarmed, working traffic control and crowd control here and there in the city. Certainly not pre-deployed to react and respond quickly to the kind of thing that everybody knew was a potential to happen on January the 6th. So what happened? Were there communications between my colleagues in the Democratic Party and their friend, the mayor of D.C., to have that change of heart the day before January the 6th? We're going to find out. I promise you. Director Ray, will you explain to my colleagues what in law enforcement, what a show of force deterrence is, how meaningful it is, and how effective it is as we deal with potential for violence, mob behavior, rioting, violent protest, when things can get out of hand, and we know it because of our intel. We have a show of force. Would you explain that in generality, sir? I realize you cannot discuss the case. Share with America briefly how effective the show of force is.
Well, Congressman, with the caveat up front that the FBI, of course, doesn't do crowd control.
Right, but you're my
right.
thin blue line brother on this panel because the chief couldn't come. For some reason, the chief we invited is not here. So you're the man on the panel with law enforcement experience. Just share with my colleagues in America just how effective show of force is as a deterrent if you're facing potential violence. Do you agree with that assessment or not, good sir?
My understanding is that a visible show of strength and security is a very, very significant factor.
A very significant factor. I concur. Why do you think, America, why do you think that show of force was canceled the day before January the 6th? I promise you we're going to find out.